Andy Warhol directed the first ever Batman movie, titled Batman Dracula, in 1964. However, it was made without the consent of DC Comics, and save for just a few images, all copies of the film have been lost forever. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 45. My name is Gareth Bridie. I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Hello, it's good to be here. How's it going?
Good. Don't know why that made me laugh. That was good. I forgot where I am. On my virtual right is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
Hello, good to be here. Trying to emulate James, but it feels very forced.
Yeah, I like it.
It
It's a Monday. We don't normally do a Monday, do we?
No.
It's strange.
It's really strange. And the reason we're doing a Monday is because this is the DC FanDome event special. All the news over the weekend we're going to try to encapsulate in a nippy hour. We watched it, didn't we? And also, I've just to let you know, I've got two experts, DC experts. This is why we've chosen Richard and James.
Where are they? Oh, okay.
What we're going to do is it was an 8-hour, if you hadn't seen it over the weekend, show online, because you can't let people in, of course, and we're going to talk about, not all of it, not in any order, our sort of like highlights from our top highlights all the way down. What do you think of this? What do you think of the whole thing of it being online and not with lots of people shouting and screaming? Did it work as an overall thing, first of all? James, what do you think?
I think so. I think it helped to bring everyone into it as well by having it online.
Yeah.
You felt included.
Oh,
rather than having to be at like San Diego where it would normally be.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
No, go on. Say your thing.
It was good because there was some fan interaction as well. So it wasn't just them talking, it was a bit of both. So there's fans and experts and yeah, it was really informative.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I think this is the future. I think you should just do this rather than having to queue for hours. Just do this. It's nice and swift.
Because it's pre-recorded as well. You can make sure everything's in there. You need to get out there rather than on a panel. Probably get lost a bit, don't you?
There's a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
I didn't miss
before they say a word.
Yeah, I didn't miss the screaming. But of course, people live. Did you like it, Richard? That whole,
yeah. I watched all 8 hours, mate.
Oh dear. What you might have missed, which I like to think, did you see the Aardman animation right at the beginning? This was. Now you might have missed this, Richard. You saw it, didn't you? It was really what happened. Aardman, who do the Wallace and Gromit films, and they did this before. They have real kids' voices, and they animate them with their plasticine. Normally, it's animals. And this time they had sort of Batman and Superman, like plastic versions of them, with kids talking about poo or something, and they were running. I loved it. I loved it. If you haven't seen it, just find a clip. It's great, wasn't it?
It was very strange.
Was it Creature Comforts they did?
Creature Comforts, exactly. And it had that same thing, which they use real people they interview, and then they just animate the creatures.
That sounds cool.
It's actually it really was funny. So you had sort of like Batman in the kid's voice talking about how he likes running. I'm really good at running. It was very good. And also, what I really liked about it is like, no one said anything about it because it was like all pre-recorded. No one announced it. It was just thrown in at the beginning, and then that was it. No one mentioned it. And of course, in none of the sort of like highlights, no one's talked about it. But it was like, it's obviously taken them quite a while to do. It's a great little short.
It was worth it, I thought.
Yeah.
Even if no one else noticed it. I enjoyed it.
We liked it. So big mention out to that. I really enjoyed that.
Did you see the Batman one? 1966.
No, I didn't see that. What was that?
Oh, they had Batman of the future receiving a transmission from the old Batman TV show, and they were just saying how ridiculous it was and taking the Mickey out of Joker, throwing fish at the Batman.
Wow!
As a weapon. It was really funny.
Good. That's another good one.
If you haven't seen it, YouTube it.
Yes, I will look for that one.
Somewhere.
I missed that one in between.
Proper old school Batman.
Yeah.
The good times. Kapow.
You love that, don't you? You love the old school Batman.
I do.
Yeah. Let's start with something Bat-related, which is the first big announcement, which was the game. We're going to start with 2 games. And the first one, which was like 20 minutes into the thing, was with Gotham Knights. Richard, what do we see in Gotham Knights? What was announced?
So this is not set in the Arkham universe, unlike the other game, which we'll talk about afterwards, which confused me originally because this had characters that had been in there previously, such as Nightwing, Batgirl, and then is it Robin and Red Hood are the 4 characters that you get to play as.
Well, you're the expert, so.
And then they showed a short gameplay thing, including Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Was that this one?
Yes.
I get confused between the two. Yes. And it looked to me a little bit like Assassin's Creed, if I'm being honest. So was it Nightwing was sort of wandering around and he could see character levels?
Yeah.
And they had them over their head. And I'm watching that, and that just to me looked exactly like Assassin's Creed because he was sort of going round quite stealthily as well. And then they had health bars and everything above. And my friend and I were discussing it, and we're like, he didn't like the idea of having these health bars. But when we first watched it, we thought, is this set in the Arkham universe? And then we found out afterwards that it wasn't.
So I'm going to just talk through what we might, because you can watch the trailer, you watch it all. The biggest surprise of the whole thing was the whole trailer sets up, there's a sort of video thing from Bruce Wayne, spoiler, Batman, and he's sending this message saying, look, if you're listening to this, I'm dead. So the idea that Batman is dead, Bruce Wayne is gone, and the signal's gone out to Batgirl, Red Hood, Robin, and Nightwing. And these are the playable characters. And the first thing that was a big surprise, and I'm going to put this over to James, we knew there was going to be another Batman game. It's been teased, it's been hinted at. Mm-hmm. Did you think it would be this?
I figured they'd bring in the Bat family. But I didn't think they'd make it all about them. And I was hoping it'd be Batman inclusive, shall we say.
Right.
But, I mean, the good thing about it is it's going to be co-op. That always draws me into a game. But, I don't know, can you really do Batman without Batman? I mean, the only thing is, we can probably guess that he's not really dead. That's the only good thing.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. He probably comes back at the end.
But I don't think you probably won't play him. I've got this feeling.
Or DLC maybe. But yeah, I mean, it didn't look as grim and dark as I was hoping it would be for a Batman game. I think it would be quite. I don't know. I just didn't connect with it.
Now I'm going to go against you two because I really liked it, and I tell you what, it reminded me of Spider-Man, PS4 Spider-Man, and I think it was the health bars on the head, and it was the combat as well. Had a very similar feel to me, you know, that kind of frenetic on the ground, jumping around, melee combat with opponents, with also your little specials. And I like the look of the world. I think it looked good. It looked great. It looked amazed. It was pretty much. It's going to come out soon. We know it's coming out in 2021. It doesn't look. They showed a big chunk of it. And I did think, like you said, it's nice. It's a different. I'm really glad they didn't do a sort of like. Did both of you play the Batman game that wasn't rock steady, but it was?
Yeah,
I never played it. It didn't get great reviews, did it? But it used. What was it like?
Very glitchy. I had to restart it once or twice.
So I'm kind of glad that there isn't a Batman game that isn't rock steady. That they've gone, let's do something completely different in Warner Bros. Studio, and that's interesting.
Yeah, because they can't do what they can do, obviously.
No, maybe not.
You see it in the boss fight. Mr. Freeze boss fight was so boring.
I think it was just whack, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, it was just tanking, and that's it.
They nearly killed him, didn't they? It looked like he was going.
Yeah.
Until he did that weird special.
And when you've seen what Rocksteady can do with a weird, like Mr. Scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
Boss fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just looks so generic.
Well, maybe I've got a feeling that was a kind of first boss. It's a really boring.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But the Court of Horrors are in it, aren't they?
Yes, that's the kind of main story, isn't it? That's the big.
Yeah.
And they were kind of teasing at the end that Oracle was going to be a huge part, but what did they say? They said, there's more about that secret to come. This is because they were standing in Oracle's base, which is like the clock thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they were saying that the Court of Horrors there's more mystery than that.
Okay.
They're the least of your worries.
Right.
So maybe it's Batman.
Maybe it's Batman.
Batman's the villain all along.
Oh, that'd be good. I think it looks good. I think it looked really nice. I think it'll be fun. What I was a bit confused about is like, why do you have 4 characters and only have 2-player co-op?
Yeah.
That was a bit weird.
And can you really get attached to the Red Hood? Who's a killing machine.
Got some guns.
Who wants to just murder people.
Yeah.
Not really a hero, but we'll see.
Yeah.
How it turns out.
Yeah. So there's Robins, isn't there? There's Robin. Who's that Robin? What's his name?
Tim Drake.
Oh, okay. That's the one I missed now. And then, okay, yeah. And Nighthawk
is Dick.
Dick, yeah. And Jason Todd's the Red Hood.
Yeah, and then Batgirl is Barbara Gordon.
Yes. Good. Glad we sorted that out. I did find Barbara Gordon's voice a bit weird. It was like an old style 90s video game.
Did you find that the voiceovers were quite disconnected?
Yeah, it didn't feel as But
I need to fix that.
I think it
fine.
I think it's been very good. We know it's coming next year, so that's good. Something to look forward to. Well, I'll look forward to it. You two can just scour in the corner.
I mean, I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, keep an eye on it. Check it out. And let's do the next one. Let's do the next big game release announcement, which was Suicide Squad. And it's got another name, isn't it? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. James, what do we see here?
Basically, it's Amanda Waller has put a task force together called Task Force X. And we know them as the Suicide Squad. So you've got King Shark, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang. And they've been given the task originally of assassinating Superman. And going off the trailer, it seems like the Justice League are under the control of Brainiac. So that'll be interesting. And it's a third-person shooter.
And we didn't get any gameplay or anything, and it's not coming out to 2022, is it?
No.
And it was a CG trailer, wasn't it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Richard, what was it? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's go on. What are you going to
say? I was just going to say it's going to be very focused on gunplay. It's going to be a shooter more than anything else, which would be a shame. Other than that, it looked really fun.
the shark guy, he had guns, didn't he? King Shark.
Yes,
He was.
which was strange.
Does he normally have 2 machine guns? Where the hell he had?
No. He just eats people normally.
You're right. It's going to be a shooter, isn't it? Yeah. Richard, you excited about this?
Yeah, more excited about this one.
Oh my god!
Well, for a start, this one has 4-player co-op.
Yes.
And it's a bit different from what we were expecting, because I remember when Rocksteady, the rumours started coming out of there, we were expecting a Superman game similar to the Batman games, because we knew it was sort of going to be set in Metropolis, which I believe this is where the Suicide Squad are. But I don't think they originally knew who their target was, according to that trailer. It was on the big reveal was Superman turns up and they're like, "Oh, Superman's here," and then his eyes start glowing, and they realise that he's not the Superman that they know.
That made me laugh. Sorry, he's not the Superman you know. No, he wasn't. But it was a very funny little extra bit when the boomerang sort of hit him in the head and just pathetically bounced off. Yeah, that was very good.
I think it'd be funny.
I think it could annoy me. It could go either way. It could be too hip, trying to be hip and funny, and a shooter, and a bit like what's that bloody game? One that came on Xbox One with the
I have to narrow it down a bit.
Sunset Overdrive. That's what it reminded me of for some reason. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, but I think that'd be good.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
See, what I was really sad about Rockstar, because I really wanted a Justice League game, and I wanted it in that same style of. I loved the Batman trilogy. I thought it was fantastic. I loved the kind of story, the kind of pace of it. I loved the exploration of just walking about the city or the locations or in the Arkham Asylum and just having your time. What I don't want, and we might be completely wrong, we might have that, is a sort of like a mad shooter, 4-player mad shooter.
Yes, give me Carnage.
Yeah, that's not
Absolute Carnage.
That doesn't interest me. I mean, it'd be fun and co-op for a bit, but you know me, I love a story. That's what I loved about those games. It's the atmosphere.
Well, the story would be decent. I'm sure. Because I mean, Superman will be the first one. But you'll no doubt get to kill the Flash, or try to.
King Shark's got guns, but yeah, I'm being down. I'm sure it'll be fun.
I hope it is open world.
I'm going to play Gotham Knights.
It is open world.
Oh, okay, right. Well, that's coming 2022.
Yep.
So, and that's only on the new generation of consoles. While the other one is on both, isn't it? It's cross-generational.
Yes.
Well, we'll see about that after the rumours we've heard today, if they can actually get it to work. So
cancel the Xbox One next. Put money in. No use to anyone.
Yeah. Good. That's our 2 big games. They're the games, weren't they? And I think they were good. I think the feedback's been good about both those. They're not everyone was down on them, was it? It was quite an excited internet response.
Mixed.
Was it?
Mixed, okay. I'd say.
Oh, I don't know who your followers are. My followers are upbeat.
I don't have followers. I just listen to my own opinions. Ignore the rest.
Good. Right, let's move on. Let's get into films. And the biggest one, of course, was the Batman. And I think we were quite surprised that we got a trailer for a film that's not finished filming.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't finished it all.
Yeah, and that was
25%. They said.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I'm gonna talk about the trailer first of all and what we saw briefly, and then you can have your opinions. We saw, which looks like a kind of like a homemade costume of Riddler taping up someone and leaving a kind of a clue. And then the police arrive in Gotham, and we see Commissioner Gordon walk in, and then we see our version of Batman with, and then we see him beats someone up. And then we go and see a bit of Penguin is there. A really complete. We'll talk about this all in complete detail.
Yeah.
And then we see a bit of a car, don't we? See a bit of Catwoman, and then you see him go, vengeance. What's your name? I'm Vengeance.
Like he's in the room. He's here. Everyone get your heads down.
Now, I love this trailer. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was everything I kind of want, and I'll talk about that in a minute. What was your opinion, James?
I didn't want to like it, but I did.
Oh! I didn't think that was going to be the same.
I think once you get over the fact that they're going a different way with it, it's going to be really interesting with the whole detective side and gritty.
Mm.
It's going to be a lot grittier than before.
Mm.
And that costume, that was badass.
Yeah.
I love that costume.
What is it? When I looked at the costumes, like the first thing you see of the costume are the boots, aren't there? And what I kind of liked about the costume, it looks like something me and you could probably get together from loads of shops. It felt a bit homemade.
Yeah, it's practical.
Yeah, and I really like that. I sort of like the fact that he's not had someone design it for. He's put it together himself.
No, because it is the early days, isn't it?
Mm.
I think this was year 2.
Yeah.
So at that point, he hasn't got all the tech. He hasn't got all the ridiculous arsenal. He's got whatever he can find, really, with the money he's got, of course. But yeah, I was impressed. Not so much at the Bruce side. I don't like him still.
What, Robert Pattinson?
He looks very unlikable. Yeah. I just look at his face and think, no, I don't like him. As Batman, it looks very cool.
You're right.
And Penguin. Wow.
Let's get Richard's opinions, and we're going to go back to Penguin first of all, because there's a lot to talk about. Richard, what was your general opinion of the trailer? Did you like it or not?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm of a similar ilk as James, that every time I see Robert Pattinson, I can't help but think of Twilight. But he's tried so hard over the past few years to break away from that. And I think if this film doesn't convince me that there's more to him than a shiny vampire, then I don't know what is.
He's done lots of brilliant films.
I know, but it's just that saga.
I know, but
can't be forgiven.
I know, but he's done lots of amazing stuff. There's a film called The Lighthouse. It's very weird. Watch it. Yeah. Okay, so you liked it as well. So we all feel like we liked it. I think the kind of opening bit with that tape is something like the masking tape sound that kind of went with the DC logo. It's really cleverly put together. Let's talk about the villains first of all. So we see Riddler, and who's playing Riddler?
Paul Dano.
Yeah.
And we just see him in a costume, in like a hooded costume, don't we? A sort of green costume with these kind of like masked goggles on. Is that right?
Yeah.
And do we hear his voiceover? Is it his? Do we imagine him doing the voiceover for that?
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kind of very weird, gravelly, distorted voice, isn't it? I really kind of like. What do we think of him? I mean, we don't know much, do we? I mean, it's interesting.
I think he's a brilliant actor. I first saw him in Little Miss Sunshine.
Yes.
But then later on, he sort of built this niche for him where he excels at playing these less than desirable characters. And I think the last one I watched with him was Prisoners. With Hugh Jackman and
great film.
Terrence Howard, is it?
Yeah.
In it, and he's an incredible actor. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him in a role such as that.
Let's talk about the Penguin, which is we got 2 glimpses of it, and it's sort of like set the internet like no one. It's Colin Farrell, but I mean the makeup department should get their Oscar now because that was amazing, wasn't it?
He looked nothing like him.
Nothing like it.
Unrecognizable. It was. I had to take a double take.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer 3 times. I still thought that's not him. Who is it?
Because he's got it's sort of like black, sort of matted hair, isn't he? And this big face. His face is amazing. And the idea behind the Penguin in this is he's not at his level at all as well. He's like a hoodlum, isn't he, at this point? He's not a mob. You're not a boss, is he? And he hates being called Penguin. That's his nickname.
Just like in the TV series.
Yeah.
Gotham.
And he has a sort of... He doesn't have a line in it as well. He's sort of like... He's being chased by him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A high-speed chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then we saw the other villain, which was Catwoman, which we saw her just doing a robbery, didn't we? And then having a little fight with Batman. Is that right? Have I made this up?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know anything. I mean, there was nothing. We don't know much about it. It didn't give us a hint of anything. But...
No. I think Falcone's in it as well. So he'll probably be a villain.
Yeah. Well, it's the rumours are it's going through that kind of almost like the Long Halloween story line of. Have you ever read the Long Halloween graphic novel?
With the Rose Gallery.
Yeah, it would be a mixture of all these kind of like you said, a much more detective journey.
Yeah.
Now, can I just talk about one bit and your opinion about that fight? We see him fight.
Yes.
And how brutal was that?
Is that just before he says vengeance?
Yeah, vengeance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's your opinion,
He's
sir?
not coming back from that, is he?
He basically is quick fire punches and then punches him twice when he's on the ground, dead.
Yeah, his arm breaks as well.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's a statement.
Well, I wonder if they're some kind of like Joker fans. You know, because the Joker the film was years ago. Maybe this is like the new breed of Jokers.
Okay. Yeah.
So they look very Joker-esque.
Yeah.
The smiles.
What I thought was interesting about that is the suit, the movement in the suit was unlike any other Batman because it's so quick.
Exactly.
And because it's all the cameras just behind that character is getting beaten. Normally the camera with those things is panning to go with the movement, so it seems much quicker than it is. But it showed how flexible that suit was and how quick it moved, and that was really interesting. So you had a feeling of a different fight style, didn't it? Very, really brutal.
Yeah, and the fact that he couldn't control himself, he really made into that guy.
Yeah.
So he's still learning the anger management, shall we say?
Yes.
Got a way to go.
Vengeance. It's getting worse every time I say it. Now, what do we think? Because I think it's a really interesting, like you said, it's sort of like set in year 2 of Batman arriving. So what I'm really interested about, it feels like he's still maybe making mistakes. He's still kind of learning that trade. Absolutely. I think that is something. Have we seen that before, really? In the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, that's kind of feels like that's sort of year 1 or 2, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose in Batman Begins, he's sort of learning more of his trade. The Ra's al Ghul. But I think this will be more, like you say, detective side. And that's interesting, because it really hasn't been done that well. That he's the greatest detective. We can't forget that. That is who he is. So,
no, it's normally just done by computers, isn't it? Every time they do the detective.
Yeah.
They scan this in the computer. Oh, that's what they are. That's normally the detective. Alfred. Let's talk about Andy Circus. Alfred. His voice is Courtney voice. It was good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was good.
Well, it was good.
Really liked it.
It was different.
It'll be weird to see him as a person and not covered in a mocap suit.
Well, we don't know yet. It could be a CGI monkey. We don't know.
And we had Commissioner Gordon as well, played by the actor who I really like. I can't remember his name. Can you remember his name?
From Westworld.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. I like Jeffrey Wright a lot. And I think he's going to be great in it.
Yeah.
Already he's got that brilliant way of just staring at things for ages. I really like the fact that none of the police liked him. Did we see sort of Batman in a cage being beaten by the police, or having a fight with the police, or pushed around?
It was helping the police at one point as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it turns, the tide turns.
Yeah.
Everyone turns against him the closer he gets to the corruption.
And what's interesting, they talked about the TV series that's coming out, because Gotham PD. And that's going to be all set in year 1 of Batman.
Yeah.
And it's going to be focused on the police department. And there kind of was hints that, definitely Jeffrey Wright's character will be part of that story. Not maybe all the time, but will come in. Maybe the actor. And it'd be very interesting to see if Batman appears. Or even is just talked about. It'd be amazing if they could connect film and TV.
It would just be dead bodies found
in
the Batman calling card on it.
To see him in the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would be really fascinating to see that. I'm kind of interested in a shared world of a series and a film running on the same time. That'd be really nice. Which hasn't really been done.
No. That's the only aspect that's interesting. I mean, the Gotham PD stuff, it's been done too recently for me.
Yeah, but that was
Gotham.
Yeah. But I think that was very much like Gotham. I like Gotham a lot, and it's very much like that was almost like harking back to the 60s. It was very camp, wasn't it? It wasn't.
It got camper.
Yeah,
I don't think it was originally, was it?
No.
No.
But they pitched it wrong. Yeah, they knew they pitched it wrong from the start. Someone might have whispered to one of them, "We're doing this quite seriously," and told the rest, "Just camp it up." Yeah, because they did start, and it was good fun. It was really good fun. But I think the grittiness and the feel of it is something I'm really looking forward to. I got very excited about
it. One thing that I wondered is how different could that film have been? Because originally it was Ben Affleck, it was Deathstroke. It would have been so different.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a go.
It's going to be great.
See what it can do.
I'm going for this. I'm 100% behind it. I bought
So
t-shirts.
this isn't part of the DC extended universe, is it now?
Well, we're going to talk about that coming up.
Oh, okay.
There's a hint about this, you see.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going to spoil it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This leads us on, as James quite mentioned, Ben Affleck. We had then the Justice League Snyder's Cut trailer, which was bits of the cut of Justice League in a trailer to Hallelujah song, which he loves to use a lot of the time, to Snyder, that song.
And then the curry.
Yes, he does. He used it a few times. That's your thoughts, please, gentlemen. Please, are you excited about this, Richard?
I don't know. Because the trailer opens up with Darkseid or Darkseid. I can't ever work out how to pronounce his name. Who wasn't in Justice League originally, was sort of cut out of it, and I feel like that and the Hallelujah music is almost like a big middle finger to those that took away his vision in the first place of what Justice League should be. But then at the same time, I'm concerned that this has only really come about because of all this pressure from fans, and it's setting a dangerous precedent. If people are unhappy with something, then they'll just kick off until they get what they want.
So, James, what about you?
I'm glad that it's going to get a chance to be the film that it could have been, because it was. I enjoyed the film originally, but there's so many missing bits of it that doesn't knit the story together.
Yeah.
And obviously, those bits are going to get put in. Much like we saw with Batman vs Superman. The Ultimate Edition is so much better than the original cut. And because it has extra scenes that make more sense and create those connections. I'm excited. It's going to be long though, isn't it?
It's four parts, isn't it? It's on HBO Max, so we can
4
watch
hours.
it on Now TV, I think, if you've got that, or Sky Atlantic.
They're working out a deal, aren't they? At the moment.
Yeah. And I think, it's 4 parts. Oh, please, get your head down. And then it's, 4 hours long. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because Justice League wasn't a good movie at all.
No.
It had a first good 20 minutes, and then after that, it was like dreadful. And some people liked it, of course. I'm not saying they should change this, keep it very quiet.
I've seen it 4 times.
I've seen it 4 times. The things that Josh Whedon, and he's getting a lot of criticism. I mean, he's already had the actor who played Cyborg calling him out for harassment and they're investigating. So it's Josh Whedon. The bit with Batman at the beginning. There's Batman at the beginning, and he gets one of the little robot things. Whatever they're called. What are they called? Alien with wings.
The parademons.
That's it. The parademons. He gets one of those. That's Josh Whedon putting that in. That was a different way of doing that. Every Superman scene you see with him with a weird lip, it was Josh Whedon because that was a reshoot. But most of the Superman stuff has been reshot. That's what they're saying. So
Yeah, they've all come back, haven't they?
they've come back. And of course, the Russian families. Remember those at the end, the terrible end?
Yeah.
That was all Josh Whedon and the studio. So none of that exists. So I'll be interested to see if that ending is much different and how it's not so much of a CGI mess up. And Steppenwolf is still awful. Oh my god!
You knew about that.
But he might do something about that. I think the fight scene at the end is changed.
It looked darker.
Yeah, I think Batman. Yeah, so it could be this kind of whole new vision of it. But I think Rich is right about. I think it was a weird thing, wasn't it? I think at that point DC were going. The moment that Snyder had that terrible tragedy with his daughter, who took him away from the filming, it felt like all the executives came in and go, "Oh, this is it. We're going to make the Avengers now. We're going to get Josh Whedon in it. He's done it. We're going to make it happy and jolly and jokes. We're going to put jokes in. Josh Whedon will be the person." And that's what he tried to do. Yeah, and I think the actors didn't really know because they've been playing this very serious, dark world, haven't they? I think, especially you can see it in sort of Ben Affleck. He sort of doesn't look happy in that film at all. And every time he says a line, if he tries to say a funny line, he's sort of saying it through gritted teeth. It doesn't feel like they're on board completely at all. So it'd be interesting.
But then I think Ezra Miller in it, who is almost like the comic relief in it. I think he's the best part about it, despite this being the comedy missing for the most part. But I think his character works really well in contrast with the rest of them.
Yeah. James, do you think that?
Yeah, and apparently there's even more good fresh stuff coming. A lot of it got cut out apparently.
And there's more Cyborg as well.
Yeah, because he was terrible.
Yeah.
He was the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Because you didn't know who he was. There was no information about it. That was a problem.
No personality.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be interesting to see if they can make that better. You had no idea who this character was. All you saw.
He was a big figure in it.
Yeah.
In that trailer, you see his dad dying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which should give him something to fight for because there's nothing. You don't even know why he's got like that or anything really.
No. Well, there you go.
He's a great character. When you get to know him, he should be a great character.
I'm going to move us along. That's it. We're going to see it. Could be good. Could be the same. Steppenwolf.
I think it'll be different.
Yeah.
We can definitely say it'll be different.
Yeah. Suicide Squad movie. We saw a sort of like it was a trailer, but it wasn't really a trailer. It was sort of like behind the scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But all the characters were introduced. Were you excited about that? There's millions of them. We're not going to go through them, are we?
Are we not?
Do you want to go through them? You're the experts, you two.
I think it was a good way to announce the characters. But they could have even saved it into the film, I think. Announce the actors and then just wait.
Right.
Because I think it'd be nice to see a little bit of surprise, like, was it John Cena as Peacemaker?
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Which is like Captain America gone mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought there's a really mixed bag in there of well-known and who the heck is that kind of characters.
And who's really good at doing who the heck is that characters is the director, isn't he? As he's proven.
Yes. As he did with the Guardians.
Yeah. James Gunn.
They are now household names.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's a very funny man, and I think he can do the kind of comedy stuff very well as that action stuff, can't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what that needs. Because that first Suicide Squad, do you know what? I didn't mind it. It was fine.
Yeah, I thought the first one was all right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first 15 minutes. I thought it was brilliant. I thought, this is great. All these characters getting introduced. Here's Batman. Now they're somewhere else. And then he wants a re-release of that film as well, doesn't he? The director. He wants a cut.
Yeah, because there's loads of Joker stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
That they did to make it even darker and more sadistic.
Poor. Right, I'm going to move this on. Do you mind? Do you have anything else to say about
that? We could mention the fact that Nathan Fillion's in it.
Oh, yeah!
In Firefly.
Oh, I like Nathan Fillion.
As a guy that can take his arms off and throw them. He's got to catch with limbs.
What does Polka Dot Man do? I'm not aware of this character.
The dots are used for different devices. Like, one might blind you with light. One might bring out a blade. Different projectiles and stuff.
Wow.
It's weird. It's such a weird character.
I like that actor who plays him. I can't remember his name. It's great. He plays really...
David Desmosian.
Yeah, he's really good. He plays strange, offbeat characters.
He's the guy in The Dark Knight, that's...
Yes. Well,
good
spot.
He almost has a cameo in that.
Yeah. He gets beaten up by Batman, doesn't he? And no, he gets beaten up by Two-Face, who before he's Two-Face. And Batman stops him and goes, "Can you see this man is insane?"
And he's an Ant-Man as well.
All right. There you go. It's good. Very good.
And Weasel. Don't forget Weasel.
Oh, you want to go through all these characters, don't you? I know you do.
Is that his brother that's doing that one?
Yeah, he was looking at a window. So he's in a good one.
Do you want to talk more about this? Do you want to go through all the characters?
That's it. They were my highlights.
Okay, good. Richard, do you want to name any more characters?
I know that Taika Waititi's in it as well, but I don't think they've said which character he's playing yet.
No.
Yeah, not yet. Okay. Interesting. Because he's good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Right.
And generally.
Do you want to talk about another film?
And Peter Capaldi.
Oh, yeah, he's in it, yeah.
Yeah, as a thinker. Yeah. That's a great casting.
I think it's just going to be the whole film just introducing the characters. That'll be the end of the film. The credits will roll when you get to the last one. If they have a minute each, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Right, next. Black Adam. I don't know anything about this. And so I'm going to put it over to the experts.
Richard.
All I know is it's Dwayne Johnson playing a superhero. So I'm in.
Playing himself.
Can I really quickly tell you my Dwayne Johnson dream last night? It's really quick.
Please do.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson, I had to go into a room and pitch the Fast and Furious 9 film to Dwayne Johnson. Right? And I got told by the producer, you've got to go and pitch this movie. And you're the right person. I said, I've never seen a Fast and Furious film. And anyway, it doesn't matter, go in there. And then I'm in the room. And Dwayne Johnson's looking at me going, what have you got? And I couldn't think of anything. And I woke up. Sorry.
You should shouted cars.
Yeah, I should have shouted cars. What was I thinking? Right. Sorry. Dwayne Johnson, yes. And he's playing... Tell me, what is this? James, tell us what this is. This character. Yeah. What the character is. I don't know anything about this character.
The character, he was born in... Gets Kondak. Mm-hmm. And he's a slave, essentially.
Oh, okay.
In this world. But I don't know what happened in the film. I believe his family gets murdered. So he takes matters into his own hands and starts murdering people. Wow. In Kondak. He's not a very nice guy.
Oh.
No, he's more of an anti-hero.
Right. Okay.
Villain. Depends what day it is.
Is he powerful?
Very. He's fast, strong, and I think it was Shazam that put him away for years and years. And now he's been released again. And I think that's where the film will kick in. When he gets released into the world. But again, it's weird because he's supposed to be teaming up with the Justice Society.
Right.
So maybe they don't know him that well. Because I won't let him into my team. He's a murderer.
Oh my word.
You can team up with Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher.
I'm not going to ask any of these people are.
You don't know Hawkman?
I know Hawkman's in Titans, isn't he?
Good. But yeah, so basically he's an anti-hero in this film, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then that'll lead into Shazam 2.
All right. Yeah. Richard, do you like the look of this?
Yeah, I think they announced the trailer at the FanDome, which sort of has the Shazam lightning bolt on it. So that's obviously going to tie into it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing The Rock as an actual superhero and not just put up on a pedestal like he already is.
Okay. Yeah, controversial. Yeah, I like it. Right, good. Any more to say about that?
It's just been a long time coming.
Oh.
That's how much we have to wait.
When's it coming out? Did they say?
They haven't started filming it yet.
Oh, yeah, because they just had some artwork, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, I'm ready to give it 2 years.
Okay. Fine.
Here first.
The next film, which was the first thing that we saw, which is the film that is coming out. It's meant to be out in the summer, but of course it's been delayed to the autumn, is Wonder Woman 2, the 80s. And we had a nice, whatever you think of Wonder Woman, I think it was the first one was great. It was very sweet to see those kind of like fans coming in and talking to, and how these sort of like young girls and older teenagers, how much of it, huge influence this film is in this
and middle-aged men.
Yeah, middle-aged men, yeah. But it is this major influence, and that's really good in such a kind of, still quite a male-dominated world, the superhero world. But actually, it was great to see that. I really like that. It was quite full of, it's nice, very good. I know you two cynical, deep-hearted fools.
I loved the first one.
Oh, no.
No, it's good.
Wonder Woman was fantastic.
What do we think of this? So the second one, we saw sort of like a discussion group, and then we saw a trailer, and we saw a lot more in the trailer, didn't we? And we saw a lot more of Cheetah, the Christian Wiig character, her fighting with Wonder Woman in the White House. What's your feelings, you two?
Where do we start?
Well, anywhere. Be good.
This is out in a couple of months now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't overly convinced.
With what?
I think Kristen Wiig as Cheetah would take a little bit of getting used to.
Right.
Because we're not used to her being because she'll be a bad character in this one. We're used to her being happy-go-lucky, making jokes, aren't we?
Yeah.
And that, didn't we get to see her as the Cheetah near the end as well?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
And that was a bit ropey,
Strange.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
The CGI didn't look great, did it?
And Wonder Woman's costume was quite good.
Yeah, that was great. The wings, when the wings fly, when she does a shrug
wonderful.
and the wings go, that's amazing. But yeah, I think that was my only criticism. Really, was Richard. What do you think? The CGI of a Cheetah was a bit weird.
Yeah, but I've always had a problem with the CGI in the DC films.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not sure. Well, nothing's changed really. Then
no, I think
from
you're right.
What I saw that latest trailer.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're not been great with it, have they?
No. Justice League and Aquaman particularly bad.
Oh my word, yeah. Jeez. I sat through Aquaman through a flight to America. It's the longest flight of my life. Yeah.
Those underwater scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt sick. Yeah, that was the only bit. I think the Kirsten Wiig character, I think what they probably will do with that character, which is good, it feels like the character will start off quite wacky, a bit of an idiot, and then they'll turn into this kind of fighting, machine.
Yeah, because I presume she gets taken under the wing of Maxwell Lord, the other bad guy in the film.
Yeah.
Played by Pedro Pascal?
Yeah,
Pascal.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's really good, though.
From Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And Narcos. It's going to be, I really like the director, Patty Jenkins. I think she's really good. And I really like the first one. So it's going to be interesting to go back to that world. Yeah.
I hope we find out why Steve Trevor is not dead.
I hope they never mention it. I think they should never talk about it. I think you should turn up and they should just go, well, Steve. And that'll be it.
But it feels as well with that I think so we had Shazam and Birds of Prey in between Aquaman and this, but it feels like this is the first time you've gone back to established characters in this universe for a couple of years now as well. So I'm looking forward to it from that point of view.
Yes. Yeah, a long time. Goes forever.
I'm going to move us on really quickly because we haven't got that long. Let's talk about the Flash film that's coming out. And this will just give us this idea, which is what Richard was hinting at there. There's no... I don't think it's even started filming yet, has it? Or maybe it has. No, it hasn't started filming because the clips they were showing the director on the set of it. But we had a little kind
I wouldn't even like showing it.
Yeah.
That was a bit weird.
They had nothing to show because they're not showing. But they had the scriptwriter and they had the director and the producer, and they're all. And of course, what's his name? The Flash guy,
Ezra Miller.
Yeah, he was great doing his little facts. But the biggest thing which is going to happen, because this is Flashpoint, which is the biggest story. And then we know this week that Ben Affleck's back as Batman, and possibly Michael Keaton as well as Batman for this film. Yeah. So we're looking at the multiple universes, aren't we? The multiple timelines.
The multiverse.
The multiverse. Yeah. So this is what Flashpoint... The idea of Flashpoint is giving reason for the whole DC universe being what it is. So you could have 20 Jokers. You could have a Joker in the 1980s. You can have multiple Batmans.
Yeah.
And that's DC a way of saying, well, this is good because this will open up everything. And it gives a reason for everything being in canon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can bring back who they want.
Yeah.
Get rid of who they want.
Yeah.
Anytime.
We can continue this going on. Or we can stop this, yeah.
It's always felt a bit cheap to me as Flashpoint, but it gives DC the opportunity to completely rewrite the universe of the comics every few years. Because I sort of see it happening and I'm like, right, I'm going to get into it at this point. And it's like, but it never feels new at the same time.
It's a Dallas moment. Now, I know you two are young. In the 80s, in the Dallas, the TV series, Bobby Ewan, who died. They had 3 seasons of stuff going on. Bobby Ewan suddenly came out of a shower, who had been dead for 2 seasons, because they got him back and then went, oh, it was all a dream. And that was the way of getting out of that. Yeah, it has that feeling with DC. You can just go, yeah, it's all multi-universes. It's fine.
It's a good job we're near the end of the podcast. I would have switched off at that point.
Should have preceded it with the spoilers as well, because there'll be people out there that haven't watched Dallas.
Damn. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. It's very convenient that you can just go, yeah, it's all fine.
Yeah, put multiple Batmans on the screen and I'll be there all day, every day.
Yeah, I do like the idea of them appearing. It's like because the TV series has done that, haven't they? With the Multiverse, they did that.
He appeared in it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Miller appeared in it. Yeah.
I'm going to really briefly let's go on to let's talk about Titans. Let's talk about one TV series, then we're going to call it a go. Titans, which is the DC kind of flagship, which has just done season 2. season 3 is going to be set in Gotham, isn't it, James?
Yes. And that was going to get introduced to the likes of Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Is now the commissioner, apparently.
Oh.
And is it Dr. Jonathan Crane?
Scarecrow.
I think we'll see him as well.
Yeah, he's back. He's the
Indeed.
main villain, which is going to be really good, isn't it?
I thought Blackfire was the main villain,
Oh, maybe, yeah.
which is Starfire's sister.
Oh, I don't know.
But then we've also got the Red Hood. So
Yeah.
could
It's
be
good.
any of them.
I loved season 1 of Titans. I really enjoyed it. I didn't so much like season 2. It dragged a bit, and it was all a bit too many people for me.
Mm.
So I hope it goes back to something a bit more. Everyone's a bit happy at the end of season 2, a bit jolly. It was a bit like it became into sort of like the Arrow world at the end of season 2, which is a shame because it wasn't anything like that. It was a bit more gritty. Yeah, they were kind of like, when it got to that, it got a bit like,
I think Jason Todd will sort that out.
Yeah.
He'll soon put him into place.
Yeah. There were other stuff as well, but we're not going to talk about that. We've done our time. We've done our time. We could talk about it all day. Did you enjoy it? Are you excited, Richard?
Yes, I think as confusing as the film universes still are, I think there's potentially some good films coming out on the horizon.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad game looks good. Not sold on Gotham Knights just yet.
No.
But there's plenty of time in between there and when it releases, so I'm sure we'll see more. Maybe at Gamescom we might see something.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That's this week.
I think the good thing about, I agree with you about the kind of multiverse and thing, but I think the worst thing DC try to do is try to be Marvel. And I think they've gone, do you know what?
Yeah.
Let's do our own thing. And I think the Joker film last year was the best example of that, because that director came in and went, why don't you do this? Why don't we do a dark DC series? He wanted to take all the minor characters and do solo films about them, as well as Joker. And I think that was DC probably going, oh yeah, this, and it made a lot of money and won a lot of awards. And I think they've gone, actually, you know what, we can just do our own thing here.
Yeah, and then maybe it's my fault then for thinking, well, everything should be in its own universe now. Everything should be connected to everything.
But I think that's right. No, it does feel like Marvel do it so well, but you can't. I don't think you can compete with it.
No.
Because they had this with Marvel. They had this overriding Uber figure, which was that main Kevin. Was his Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige.
He was there with his books, going, no, we got to do this, and upset a lot of people. Sacked directors left because of it. With Ant-Man, with because it had to be in that overall vision.
Everything had to get signed off, didn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, James. What was yours?
I think Suicide Squad, the game and the film.
Okay.
And Black Adam, because the film nothing, but I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So that means they've done a good job.
Good.
Me,
it's Batman. Vengeance.
Batman, of course.
Yeah. And that's. He doesn't even say. What does he say? I'm vengeance. It's vengeance. That's very good. That was nice, Richard. Liked it. Better than mine.
No, yours is the best.
No.
I can't take that away from you.
No. Right, before we go, where can we find you, James?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at OKJKO.
Good.
What am I saying then?
It's all right.
We'll go with it.
Richard, what about you?
I'm on Twitter at Dobbo1912.
Great. And I'm at GB Briley on Twitter and Twitch. Please subscribe. Tell us what you liked about the DC. Leave a comment. Any of the things we're on, Apple, YouTube. But we'll see you. We're coming back next Sunday, I think. We're going to do a games com special. So we'll see you then. Thanks, gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com.
If you had found all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.